Okay, here we are, now we are going to learn about how to handle noisy data. For that, here we are having three methods. First one is binning method, second one is regression, and the third one is outliers identification. Okay. Okay, let us see the binning method. By using binning method, here we are going to remove the noisy data, right? So what is a binning method here? Whenever you are going for binning method, first you need to perform sort the data whichever we have and partition that data into a equal frequency bins. This is the first step of binning. Okay, in first step, what we are going to perform? First one, you should perform the sorting, sort the given data whichever we have. For example, here I have one field name, attribute name, that is price. That attribute has some values 24, 8, 15, 34, 21, 4, 28, 21, 25. These are the values under the attribute price. Clear? So now what you have to do? First of all, you should sort this price attribute value. Okay, after sorting, okay, I have get this kind of output. After applying the sorting technique or just manual sorting, okay, I'll get this kind of output here. This is sorting of the price data is over. Then what we have to do now? Okay, we have to split or partition these values into equal frequency bins. Equal frequency bins. Now here how many number of values I have under the price attribute? Here I have 9 attributes. These 9 attributes I am going to split into a equal bins. I want to split these values into either 3 bins or 4 bins, whatever you want to do. You can do. Here I have split these values into 3 bins. Bin A has 4, 8, 15. First part. Okay. So first part is a bin A. Bin A has these 3 values, and bin B has 21, 21, 24. Bin C has 25, 28, 34. So this is the first point. First point, first of all, you should perform a sorting on given data. This is given data. Okay, here I have sorted this data, and after that partition the data into a equal number of bins. Whatever the data I have under the price, that price data I can I can split into a 3 number of bins. Bin A has 4, 8, 15. Bin B has 21, 21, 24. Bin C has 25, 28, 34. Clear? So this is the first step. Coming to the second step. Then after first step, you are going to do smooth by bins. By bin means smooth the data smooth the noisy data by calculating the bin means, or smooth the data by bin median. And one more technique is also there, smooth data by calculating bin boundaries. You can smooth this given data by calculating either mean, or by calculating either median, or by applying some bin boundaries. In next slide, we are going to see one by one. See the same example I have taken here, and the same example, the price value. This is the sorted data of price value. The data can be split into the bins. This is the bins. After that, now I am going to apply the smoothing techniques of noisy data by calculating. First one is bin means. Bin A has three number of values 4, 8, 15, isn't it? So bin A has three values 4 plus 8 plus 15 by 3. Then you will get the result of 9. So this is the 9. Say mean of bin A. And like that, mean value of bin B is 22. Mean value of bin C is 29. Okay. So by replacing these values, okay, wherever you can find the noisy data, in such a places, you can replace either 9 or 22 or 29 based on the partition, which means the noisy data, okay, in the part of A, I mean, it is near to a bin A. So then you can replace that value into 9. Okay. Or the noisy data near to a bin B, then you can replace that value into a 22. Like that, you can replace these values with the noisy data. In the same manner, we are going to calculate bin boundaries. You may choose bin means option or bin median also same. You will get same result for bin medians also. And after the third one is bin boundaries. You can calculate the bin boundaries values, then you can replace the noisy data with these values. How you are going to calculate bin boundaries here? First of all, to calculate the bin boundaries, first you should take the minimum value and maximum value of bin A. What is the minimum value of bin A? 4. So first you can represent the 4. You can write the 4 here. After that, what is the maximum value of bin A? 15. I mean, last value of boundary value of bin A, that is 15. Okay. So these two are the boundary values. 4 and 15 are the boundaries values for bin A. So here you have one more value in between, that is 8. So 8 is nearby either 4 or 15. It is near to 4 or it is near to 15. Obviously, the number 8 is near to 4 only. Automatically, these middle values are replaced with the 4. For example, if you have the values of 4, 8, even 11, 15. Okay, these are the 4 values we have. So how to calculate the bin boundaries for these 4 values? For bin A. So as it is, the starting value and the boundary value you should take as usual. So here you can replace with 4, comma, 4, comma, 15. Okay. How to replace the value of 8 and value of 11 here? The 8 is near to 4 or 15? It is obviously near to 4. So automatically the 8 is replaced as 4. Okay, what about 11? 11 is near to 4 or near to 15? It is near to 15. So automatically the 11 is replaced as 15. Clear? Instead of 8, I have used lowest boundary value. 4. Okay, instead of 11, I have used highest boundary value, that is 15. Why? Because 11 is near to okay maximum boundary value, no? So that is 15. So that's why I have replaced with 15. Like this, you can replace the, you can calculate the boundary values for each and every tuple. Is it clear? In the same manner, we are going to calculate bin B and bin C also. These are the methods to smooth the to smooth the noisy data. Okay, if any missing value or some noisy data is there in between. Okay, for example, I have considered the same example, -6. Okay, so -6 is a noisy data. Here we are having some negative value in this field. So this is the one noisy data in this particular field. So how to replace this value? The 6 is okay. Try to calculate this negative value is either you can be replaced this one with the either 4 or with the 15. No need to write this -6. Okay, based on the need of the data, you may replace with either 4 minimum boundary value or with the maximum boundary value of 15 here. Like that, you can replace your noisy data with the boundary values. Is it clear? Right. The next method is, first binning method is over. Then the second method is regression method. In this regression method, the data can be smoothed by fitting the data, by fitting the given data, which means a column, the column data is fit the data into a regression function. So whatever the data you want to smooth, that data can be fit into a regression function. Actually, this regression function involves finding the best line to fit two attributes so that one attribute can be used to predict the other attributes. Here, what you are going to do? Linear regression in the sense, it's like a straight line. If you have two different attributes, okay, two different attributes, in between those there is a relationship in a line, single line manner. If some data is missing in between, what you have to do? One attribute value is okay, error, some unwanted data you have. So how do you replace that one to smooth this? For that, you are going to use some linear regression kind of function. For example, if you will take one example, the attribute of age, a student age attribute you have. Okay, all students age almost, okay, if you consider the students age in a particular table, okay, so these age values are like if you are a student, if you are in third year now, obviously your age is near to either 19 years or 20 years, like that, isn't it? So 19 years or 20 years. Same for each and every student, maximum the range is in between 18 to 19 to 20 years. If some students age is missed in a particular field, okay, particular record, so what you are going to do there? You are going to replace the SEM, the previous student age, into that particular cell. You may write either 19 years or 20 years to fill that particular cell, isn't it? So by doing this, you can predict his age, that particular student age, right? In the same fashion, you are going to fill up the data. If you want to, okay, if you want to perform more attribute, if you want to fill the more than 2 attributes, then also you can follow the same pattern. Not only a single student data missed, okay, it may be more than 1 student or 5 students data is missed, age data is missed. Automatically, you can replace those data by using either 19 or 20 on that particular field. Okay, that is called a multiple linear regression. If you will replace with only single attribute, then that is a general linear regression. If you are going to replace more than 1 student value, then that is called a multiple linear regression here. Clear? And next one is outlier detection. So in this outlier detection means the values that fall outside of the set of clusters may be considered as outlier. What is the outlier? The values that fall outside of the set of the clusters. Here we are having 3 set of clusters. This is cluster 1, okay, cluster 2 and cluster 3. 3 set of clusters are there with us. Okay, so which value is not coming under these clusters? Those values are called the outliers. If you will observe, this is 1, okay, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Here 3 different values are there. These 3 values are not coming under any kind of cluster. So automatically these values are called the outliers. For example, assume, okay, these are the 3 groups of data, which means, for example, you have a age, same age column. Okay, same age data I'm going to take. This group is obviously about 30 years. Okay, this each and every data point, okay, it is 30 to 40 years. And this group lies in between 41 to 50 years. 41 to 50. Okay, the ages. This group has 51 to 60 years. Here we have divided the people into 3 groups based on the ages. Okay, whoever coming under 30 to 40 ages, we can make one group. This group is called a cluster. Okay, second group is from 41 to 50. Third group is from 51 to 60. But what is the ages of these 3 persons? Okay, this person may belong to 70 years. This person may belong to 10 years. Okay, this person may belong to 21 years. So these 3 persons is not come under any group. Why? Because here we have formed multiple groups based on their ages. So whoever in between 30 to 40 years, we have make that people as single group. This group is called a single cluster. Okay, this is a cluster 2 and a cluster 3. whose people, okay, which kind of people is not fall under the any group of these, then that kind of peoples are come under outliers. Here, what is the definition? The values that fall outside of the set of the clusters may be considered outliers. Okay. This is about the identification of outliers to remove the noisy data. Maybe this outliers information is not supported to any kind of analysis. Okay, better to avoid these outliers data or remove the data if you need. Otherwise, you'll keep this aside. This is one kind of, okay, smoothing the noisy data method. Clear? And coming to the next slide, here we are going to know about inconsistent data. Inconsistent data exists in the data stored in transaction. Whenever we are going to perform some transactions, then in such a cases you are going to get some inconsistent data. Okay, inconsistent data in the sense it's not a stable one. It's something. It may be some what you call some differences. You may get some differences while entering the data, isn't it? Such kind of data is called inconsistent data. Inconsistencies occur due to data entry while you are going data entry, functional dependencies between the attributes and missing values. When these inconsistencies will occur while entering the data, you may get some this kind of inconsistent data. Or otherwise, if you have the functional dependency in that particular data, in such a case also, you are going to get some kind of inconsistencies, isn't it? This inconsistent data can be detected and corrected either by manually or by knowledge engineering tools. Okay, you may identify these inconsistencies data either by manually or by using the engineering tools. Here we are having some knowledge engineering tools of to clean the inconsistent data. Those are, the first one is discrepancy detection. Second one is data transformation. Okay, first one is discrepancy detection. Second one is data transformation. These are the two methods to clean the inconsistent data from a database here. See, let us see one by one. The first one is discrepancy detection. It is one of the step in here. If we'll see, the first step of discrepancy detection is here you are going to consider the knowledge of metadata. Okay, to check the differences between the data, whether it is correct data or not. To find out that, okay, you need to take the information about the data whichever you have, isn't it? So it may be a range of data. For example, suppose now I am going to take your attendance. Now I am going to take your attendance. Today, in today's class, literally 50 students are present. Okay. So how do I find out the absence? Based on the total number of students, okay, of this section. If I want to calculate the absence of this particular class, then first of all, I do have a knowledge of the total number of students in this class. then the present students, then only I can find out the absent students, isn't it? If you will calculate the total number of students and the presentee students, then automatically I can get the absentee students list, isn't it? This is the clear gathering of the students information. Then this is the metadata. It is called data about data. If you want to clear exact figures of this particular section, means you need to take total number of students and present students, then only you will get the clear picture about the absentee student, isn't it? So then only we will overcome the differences or discrepancies. What is the meaning of discrepancy? Which means the difference between the differences in that particular table or particular field. Which kind of differences are there? Okay, first you need to detect those differences within a particular data. So to overcome these differences, you should know the total details of the data. Then you may, in such a manner, you are going to detect the discrepancies, whether this data has discrepancies or not, like that. Okay, and here we are having some tools to detect the discrepancy. First one is data scrubbing tool. Second one is data auditing tool. Data scrubbing tool and data auditing tool. Coming to the data scrubbing tool, use simple domain knowledge to detect errors and make corrections in data. What you are going to do in data scrubbing tools? Here, use simple domain knowledge, which means, for example, the knowledge of postal address means whether it is correct address or not. How you are going to know? Based on that name of that particular city or village. Okay, if somebody is right, the postal address, the address is Guntur, the pin code number is 522426, like that. Is it correct pin code for Guntur? No. Okay, what you are going to do? Again, you need to check what is exact Guntur pin code, then you can replace with that. That is one kind of, okay, detection based on a simple domain knowledge. Everybody has a basic knowledge about a postal addresses, isn't it? Based on that, we are going to perform error detection. And also, second one is data auditing tools. Data auditing tools in the sense, analyze the data to discover rules and relationships and detecting the data that violate such conditions, which means these auditing tools in the sense you need to perform the rules and relationship within the data. What is the relationship you have? You need to analyze the rules you have to fill particular field. Suppose in previous example, we have taken 30 to 40 age people come under a single group. Okay, that is one rule. Suppose if anybody have 70 years is coming to that cluster, means is it a correct data? No, that is a wrong data. So that's why you need to find out which kind of rule that particular column has, whether the data is fitted into that rule or not. You need to identify that. That is the second one, auditing tools. Okay, and coming to the next one, data transformation. Data transformation in saying it's a second cleaning process. Here we are having the discrepancies. We need to define and apply series of transformations to correct them. If you find any kind of discrepancies in your data, differences in your data, then what you need to do? You need to define them and also apply the transformation functions to correct that data. Data transformation. So what are the data transformation tools you have? First one is data migration tools. Second one is ETL tools. Okay, What is the first one? Data migration tools, and the second one is data ETL tools. Data migration tools is a simple transformation to be specified. Data migration to, under this data migration tools, you need to perform a simple transformation. For example, if you have a gender column, then you may be replaced that gender column with the sex. Okay. And coming to the second one, ETL tools. ETL tools in the sense extraction, transformation, loading tools. It allows the users to specific transformation through a GUI interface. Okay, this ETL is one of the biggest concept. Okay, here we are having some techniques also. We'll discuss in that concept again. ETL tools. Just this is one of the data transformation tools. Okay, this is about today's class.